What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about HBAR today at the request of Bexta. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Let's get into it. All right, here we are at about 23.4 cents right now, finding support at prior areas of resistance, literally to a T. You know what? I want to use the all-time history chart. I always use Coinbase. I don't know why. I mean, I like to use Coinbase, you know, for my own personal reasons, but maybe that's why I just submit to the Coinbase chart here. From a high to or from this high to a low, you've pulled back right to this area where you literally tipped for resistance, right to these areas here where you found support before. Definitely looking like a strong area to bounce from, not only on a price perspective, but on the RSI as well. If you're bouncing off of the 50, that's always a good thing. In fact, the last time you bounced off the 50, what you did was you made this move here. From a low to a high, you moved up about 109% in the course of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks overall. And you basically did most of that move in the first 3 weeks, right? You did most of that move in the first 3 weeks. This is the relative strength index. It's the RSI, relative strength index, right? So these kind of maneuvers, this continuation, this was, if you look at this move here, this was a continuation off of this overall move here, right? So very, very similar to what you saw in this first half of the move. It was a little bit smaller, but I don't know about you guys, but it seems like the pace picked up. The pitch might be higher. It wasn't as big as this one, but it was faster. Okay, bouncing off of the 50 provided a faster move. That was an overall continuation of this effort up here. Relative strength index, you got a move that was relatively comparable to this. I'm exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. I'm expanding upon this. I'm focusing on this so much because it applies directly to what we're doing here, right? If you're bouncing off the 50 here, but this was your move up and this was your consolidation phase, where here you're bouncing off the 50 with this being your move up and this being your consolidation phase. That's all you got. I wonder what's coming next. I wonder if it's going to be a little wimpy 100% move, which, hey, I suppose anybody in the HBAR community, the Hedera hashgraph community, would be okay with 100% gains. No one's going to complain about that. But I have a small inkling of a theory that you actually see a move that's rather comparable to this one in overall size, that will likely take you to not just higher highs than what you saw here, but new all-time highs altogether. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. You're out of the overbought zone. Okay, you've hit the overbought zone, and now you're out of the overbought zone. The last time that you were in the overbought zone, you were at much higher readings on the monthly time frame, right? On the monthly time frame, you're at the 90s, and you got out of the overbought zone, came back, and you got into it. It wasn't the best reading. You provided some bearish divergence, but nonetheless, on the monthly time frame, from a low to a high over 6 months, you did move up. You did do about a 4x. So whether it's only a 100% move over 6 weeks or a 4x move over 6 months, you are pretty probable to go higher. However, the difference between here and here is that the altcoin market basically topped over here. The altcoin market, I don't know if you guys are aware, but it's nowhere near a top. It's actually much more near the bottom. So my assumption is, while we have maybe not even completely similar looks on the RSI as this, but just similar narratives, right? Overbought, out of the overbought, now we're looking to get back into it. I would expect something that is more robust than what we saw here. I expect it to be more robust. It'll take us to new all-time highs. You know, bouncing from a higher price, seeing that same result, it would take us to new all-time highs. If we're going to do that from a high to a low, the expectation would be something around, at least at a minimum, about $1.20. If not, maybe as high as $3.15. This is what we call the primary target zone. Okay, this is your primary extended area, the 1272 to the 1618. Those are your levels. Okay, you can stop at the 1414, though it's very common with the 1414 to not just wick off of it. That's about 40 to 50% of the time. I would say that 60% of the time, honestly, you do wick above it and then you close below it. Is what I would say. That's actually very normal with the 1414. So don't treat this so much as a line. I would treat these other two like $1.21 to $3.15. Treat them like a wall, although they're just ideas. None of these, let's be clear, none of these are walls in reality, right? You can stop wherever you want. It doesn't matter what these lines say. Okay, this is just an idea. But with this idea, you generally do show very significant respect. If not, you just wick a little bit above the 1272. The 1414 is not so much a line that you respect, more of like an area that you respect, okay? And then the 1618 is basically that is like a direct point of contact that you oftentimes will respect to a T. But there's a good bit of time, like 40 or 30% of the time that you do wick above it. And sometimes you even go beyond that and hit the 1886. However, that's at 660. You're at 223. I feel like I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it's crazy enough to even mention that $3 is possible by the end of this next move. I don't think that's where you're going to go personally. I'm just identifying the target range, and this is at the top of the target range. Now, how long does it take to get there? I mean, I assume you will get to 315 by the end of the cycle. Whenever I say I don't think you're going to go there, I just mean for this next move. I have to be careful with my words, right? I'm very much expecting that HBAR sees prices that are not just above $3, but above $6. I'm very much expecting that. In fact, I think we can figure this out if we look at HBAR's market cap right now. We're not going to figure it out. We're just going to do a lot of assuming here. So you're at about a $10 billion market cap. HBAR right now is in its second bull cycle. And it seems to be a market leader, right? Whenever the markets moved up, we had that little altcoin rally in November. HBAR was one of the coins that performed the best, right? Generally speaking, when the whole altcoin market moves up and then there's a pack of coins that move better than the rest, they tend to continue to outperform the rest. They tend to lead the markets and be the ones that are kind of the alphas in the industry. So I would think with that in mind that this is its second cycle, and it seems to not just have maintained relevance, but gained relevance and gained hype. This $10 billion market cap could absolutely excel beyond $100 billion. I think you could see a multi-$100 billion market cap for this thing by the end of the cycle. So if anybody's like, it can't go to 660, you know what that would mean? It'd be at a $281 billion market cap. Yes, we're very aware of that. We actually just did the math, and we're very aware of that, and it makes total sense that you could actually go up there to about $6 to $9, maybe even upwards to $10. Now, we get above $10, and that's where things start becoming very unlikely. I would even say getting above $9 is somewhat unlikely at this point, because now we're talking about a market cap that's near $400 billion, right? That's a lot of money. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, what do I know? But that's a lot of money. And going from, a market cap that was not even at $1 billion to $400 billion in one cycle, that's a lot. That's a lot. And I'm not saying it can't happen, but to me, what would be the most likely outcome by the end of the cycle would be something that's probably around $6 to $9, if not at least $3.15. But that's a 13x from here. To me, that doesn't sound right. This thing's been leading the markets. The average expectation for the average altcoin between now and the end of the alt season, the end of the bull cycle, would be something closer to about this, right? A 25x, 26x, 20x in that range. And if HBAR is going to outperform them, that would give it a 28x at $6.62. So I like that area personally as a cycle high. I don't think you're going to make that move by the end of March or April. By the end of March or April, probably sometime in April, honestly. I just got to stop saying end of March. I think it will be sometime in April that you see these targets at about $1.20 to $1.80. That's what I'm anticipating. And I really like the notion of going to about $1.20. We can go over why. Let's go over why real quick, okay? Beyond just the fibs. Maybe I should leave the fibs up there. We'll leave the fibs up there. Get rid of that white line. There we go. Let's go on the weekly time frame. Maybe the 3-day time frame. Okay. We don't know, or I shouldn't say we don't know, but I feel like this is a kind of obscure bull flag pattern if it is a bull flag pattern, but let's assume that it is, because I think it still is behaving much like a bull flag. And if it is from a low to a high, the way you measure a bull flag is you take the flag pole, you put it at the base of the flag, right? If you don't know what I'm saying here, here's your flag pole, right? Here's your flag, right? That's flagpole. It's a bull flag. You take the measurement of the flagpole, you put it at the base of the flag, and that gives you a measure move that takes you upwards toward about $1.63. And this measure move is an idea just like these lines are. It's just an idea. It's not a requirement. You do not have to hit this line. You can stop below it. You can excel through it. And likely in time, you will probably do both. You'll probably stop below it at some point and then also break through it, right? But on this move, whenever you break out of this, I would expect you to see something that's similar, maybe not as fast paced. Maybe it doesn't take 1 month to come to full fruition, but maybe it takes 2 months to take place. We would probably hit this line and I think even go through it. $1.80 sounds like a nice area, if not $2 as psychological resistance. Oftentimes with the 1414, again, you do stop just above it, not right at it. So I can see $2 being a significant target that you could stop at. From the current price, measure move aside, you know, the measure move itself would take you to about a 7x. The 1-4-1-4, if you were to go to about $2, that'd be about an 8x from here. So that would imply a stronger move. But again, this move that I'm expecting to happen is it's probably going to take twice as long. So maybe it is a stronger move. Maybe it just takes more time. If we were to see a move that's rather comparable from a low to a high, I say that it would be a stronger move. But hold on now, because this move actually low to high, right, is 822%. I don't know why, but I was thinking that this thing only moved up 400%. Maybe that's because I'm remembering the weekly time frame or the monthly. That's what it is. The monthly said 267. I'm just thinking of a different crypto entirely, guys. I'm sorry. I got that mixed up. So if it were to see the same strength of a move overall, that would put us at about $1.70. So if this next move, which I think it will be, I think it will be stronger. I don't think it'll be weaker than this move here. It might not move up at the same pace, but I think that it will be stronger overall. Like, it'll move up more overall. The reason why I'm assuming that is because, again, you'll be breaking out to new all-time highs. While this was a very bullish endeavor, finding your bear market lows and reacting from there, that was a good thing. I think breaking out above your all-time highs will provide even more fuel to the fire, let's just say. More hype, more drive to get this thing to higher prices. And those higher prices come in, again, at anywhere from $1. Come on now, man, we can do this. $1.20 to $1.80. I really do. And then the measure move, the same exact distance from a low to a high here, that puts you basically at about $1.60. I think we see a stronger move. Not because it's what I want to see, not because we're bouncing off the 50, but because we're breaking above all-time highs. And whenever you do that, that can generally lead to some miraculous things. But at a bare minimum, you're at 23.5 cents now. I would very much anticipate $1.21 at a minimum. However, I'm expecting that you go above that. So I don't know if I have anything else that I want to say. You're finding support right now at the golden ratio. It looks like a nice little double bottom at the golden ratio line right there. Finding support, maybe even a triple bottom, whatever. Closing right at it, looks phenomenal. Once you get above the 886, once you get above these highs here at about 41, 42 cents, that's when it's go time, man. And it's probably go time now. But just because it's quote-unquote go time now, don't expect to be moving at this pace. I actually would expect you probably find resistance at prior areas of support back here, probably find some resistance, build some higher lows, you know, stuff like that on your way up. And then once you break through this line, that's when it's go time, okay? But it's still, you know, you're going to be moving up over the coming weeks regardless. So let's see if it goes down a little bit. I think you're moving up, man. I think you're moving up like rather immediately, actually. You're probably going to be up. But by the time most of you watch this video, it's probably going to be at higher prices already. So where's it going to go to? That's a good question. Let's see. Low to high. Maybe up to about 25.3 cents. You're at 23.5 cents now, so switch some of those digits around. High to low. Maybe not. I could see you going to 25.5 cents, yeah, or just around there. If not, you might just go a little bit higher. You might go like right around 24.5 cents or 24 cents itself. So nothing. It's not that you're going to stop there permanently, but the 1 hour makes it look like you're not done here. You do want to grow higher. The 4 hour is overbought, and it's been overbought for a little while, and you're at your golden ratio. So I don't see this next move, whatever it is, by the end of today, I don't see it going above 26.7 cents, but maybe it could go as high as that. I would expect that between now and the end of the day, you are at least above 24.3 cents. But just because you're above there then doesn't mean that you'll stay above there. In fact, I would expect a little bit of volatility. Depends on where you stop, right? If you stop here, if you stop in the white zone here, you likely do pull back to your 0.5 or your 382, something like that, to find support. If you stop at your 786, that leaves the door open to find support at the golden ratio, or you could find support at the 0.5, right? And it depends on how you do it. If you were to do a straight rip to the 886 and then close back below the golden ratio, if you did something very volatile like this, you would probably come back to the 382. So there's a lot of scenarios where this next high, and whenever it pulls back, it likely pulls back to prices that are lower than where your current price is now. All right, so just anticipate that. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but just because it moves up from here through the rest of the day, or at least part of the day, and then it might come back, doesn't mean that it's a problem if it goes below these prices here. In fact, it's very normal to find higher lows when working your way out of a downtrend. So I've got nothing else to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, and I guess my camera went away. Okay, no, it's back. All right, take care, bye-bye.